Okay, so here's the first question. So you're a singer, you are an actress out of California. So what got you started into entertainment in general? And which came first? Was it the acting side or was it the singing part?
Well, basically, really, as you mentioned, how I got into the entertainment business was a little bit on accident. I was going through therapy at the time, and my neighbor just decided to tell my mom, and they said, you know what? We know that she loves to sing. We hear her singing around the neighborhood, around school. You should try this local community theater. And my mom was thinking, oh, we're a sports family. We like soccer, and she loves to swim, but I'll try it out. So we go to this theater, and I fell in love with it. And I told my mother, I said, I need voice lessons because I want to get bigger parts. I want to take dancing classes. I need to take acting classes. And it just steamrolled from that small community theater into this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. And so that's how I got into entertainment, where I started writing my own songs because as a teenager, you think, oh, wait, somebody had to write these songs. I've been listening to songs all my life. I can write music. And of course, you need some mentoring for that. But I ended up finding that mentoring through Camp Electric Youth that was run by Deborah Gibson. And I ended up getting into that camp, and that opens doors for me. And that's kind of how my entertainment career started, which was just a complete love for the theater, and it grew into songwriting and film and stage acting, and now, of course, mostly music.
So as far as the music side, people like to categorize people as far as what type of genre that you do. And, well, for people that want to know, how would you best describe your the type of music that you do?
The type of music that I usually perform nowadays is mostly musical theater and classical. But when I write songs, they're very much pop influenced. Actually, some of my greatest achievements for the songwriting stuff that I've done, I've won the songwriting competition, and that was with one of my original songs with "I Will Rise" and "Dancing Through Life," and all of those influence. But for me personally, as a performer, nowadays it's mostly musical theater and classical music. So yeah, so it's kind of been like a really wide variety of things. But luckily, I have, which is saralonsert.com, and I have all the different genres. Like all of my original music is on there. You can see me singing classically and some musical theater stuff on there as well.
So, who do you consider your musical influences? It could be mainstream artists, local, independent artists, those that inspired you to be the artist that you are today. Who do you consider your musical influences?
Well, definitely my family grew up. We really didn't have like we listened to the radio, and of course, I grew up in the '90s, so grew up with Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears. But in my house, we only listened to Celine Dion and Cher and Shania Twain. So those were like really big, ballady, heartfelt songs were just all of my just that was all my attention, and I just gravitated towards that. And I believe one of the first concerts I ever got a hold of was Celine Dion's concert back in at the Coliseum in Las Vegas, and I just remember watching that show on repeat and just going like, "That's gonna be me one day. One day I will do what she's doing," and she's in these beautiful gowns, and so I would say definitely Celine Dion and Cher are definitely really big influences on me, just simply because of their vocal prowess and their hard-hitting, emotional ballads and even up-tempo songs as well.
There's something about the 1990s when you just had a whole lot of strong, powerful singing women, solo artists in particular, that just blew up the way that they did. Celine Dion, you have Mariah Carey,
Oh my gosh,
you
yes.
had Janet Jackson, you have had
Hmm.
all these artists, female empowerment, I guess I can best describe. And these women, they didn't just put out songs, they put out anthems.
Exactly.
Celine Dion in particular, she I guess I'll just go ahead and say she's mesmerizing.
Oh,
She,
absolutely. I would pick no better word to describe her.
she's someone that you can just close your eyes when you listen to her music and just vision, and she has had an career incredible career. She's been through a lot these past couple of years, obviously with losses
Hmm.
of family, but prior to all of that, she just had a great career, and she's been very successful, and more importantly, she's been a very classy individual. I mean,
Yes.
you can't say a bad thing about Celine Dion. She's just easy to she's just easy to bond. She's easy to hear. She don't think highly of herself. She's just someone who just had this gift, and she's using it the best that she can. She's incredible. That's just who
Exactly.
that's just who
Actually,
she.
one of my mentors, when I told him that I wanted to be the next Celine Dion, he said, Sarah, that's fantastic that you know exactly what you want. And he's like, but don't think of yourself as being the next Celine Dion. He said, always think of yourself as she created a mold, and you're gonna take that mold and you're gonna use the foundation of it, but then also mold it to yourself, so that you're not the next Celine Dion, you are the Sarah Lonsert. And I love that idea of being able to look at her and just be completely mesmerized, and just completely fall in love with her, and kind of take what she is doing and have it be the foundation and the mold for what I would love my career to end up looking like in the end. And not a carbon copy of her, but different, taking that mold and becoming something new with it.
That's very true. It feels like a lot of fans, I mean, even all of us, have fell into this trap that we always looking for that next certain someone that could be just as good as that artist, not surpass that artist. And it's difficult to follow people that paved the way for artists of today, like,
Mhm.
and especially those that didn't have the technology and other opportunities that these artists have now. Like back in the day, people have to send out demos just to get
Right.
themselves heard. Now you have YouTube, you have SoundCloud, you have iTunes, you got all these platforms that today's
Mhm.
artists have that compared to a Celine Dion that didn't have these many platforms. She really had to all she got going for all these artists and important was just most radio play and MTV. You know if they actually play your music videos or not.
Right.
So
Well, I personally think that, what you said, back in the 1990s, we had this explosion of talent, of these huge voices that just were, you just were hooked. You had to listen to them because of their vocal ability, their vocal quality, and the messages and the heart in the songs pieces that they were singing. And I personally think that nowadays, in 2017, almost 2018, we've kind of lost that a little bit in mainstream music. And one of my big hopes and dreams is to Yeah, I do sing. Right now I'm mostly focusing on classical and musical theater, but you can trace the roots to some of Celine Dion's biggest hits to musical theater style writing or even classical style writing, and I would personally love to help bring back sort of the more heart and soul into popular music, if that makes sense.
That's very accurate. It feels like the A&Rs and people trying to put voices in artist's ear or whatever to sound a certain way, instead of them have the control. Like these A&Rs, these business people, record executives, these sign these people for a reason because they feel that they were talented. And if you want your artist to grow, you have to let them develop. You have to let them make their own mistakes just to see what they can do. And
Right.
it feels like we're getting too much of you know people's, I guess, critique instead of artists putting the music out the way that they want it. Because at the end of the day, you're hearing their voice on the radio stations, on these platforms, um, and I kind of step away from the mainstream side of things. And I live in Kentucky. I listen to local music. I go out. I go to local shows. I learn about these artists that I see and be familiar with them. And they are genuine good people. I like to see more people support local music. I mean, we all listen to
Right.
music, but people gotta understand that all these artists that we hear, they started somewhere. They started
Oh yeah.
in local venues and small venues and whatnot, and they didn't get the support that they got until they had that one big hit or whatever, until they got the record deal.
Mhm.
So imagine if people can support local music the way they support mainstream music, and we can see more observant artists get their shine. I think, but I mean, but that's just me. That's my 2 cents on that matter. Um, for you, Sarah, in 2017, what do you consider your biggest highlight of your year that stand out to you the most?
Oh, that stood out to me the most. Oh my gosh. Well, this year has been an absolutely crazy year because I actually just I have graduated from California State University Fullerton, and I graduated with my bachelor's in music in vocal performance. And we ended up doing a tour of the Baltics and Russia, and we also put out a CD, so you can find that on Spotify. I actually downloaded it on Spotify. And again, if you just look up the California State University Fullerton University Singers, the album will pop up, and I'm singing a solo on that. And that was definitely one of the highlights of my year. Also, and just a whole bunch of traveling. I've won two vocal competitions this year, which I never thought would happen. First place in the vocal competition, and again, second place in the Nats step competition, and that was incredible. I helped lead. I know this is more of a personal achievement for me, but I worked really hard on this, and I'm the assistant cantor at Macomb LA with Donnie Offing, and I helped co-lead my first High Holy Days with him, which was an incredible experience. It was long, and for those of you who don't know, the High Holy Days is basically a whole week-long celebration, and one of the biggest days. You're singing from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. non-stop, and it was a very, very hard day, but it was an amazing day of music. And gosh, I'm trying to think of some more highlights, because those are some pretty big ones in my opinion. I mean, those were fantastic, and I loved every minute of those.
Well, congratulations to everything and then some in 2018. You know,
Oh yeah, 2018. I have so many plans. I'm working on a brand new album. It's going to be a little bit more musical theater and classically orientated, and I'm actually working on that project with a couple of composer friends of mine that I met at school. So it'll be a beautiful blend of my writing style and their writing style, and I will be singing on all of the pieces on that album. So hopefully that will be coming out in 2018. I'm very, very excited for that. And I will hopefully be working on another show. I'm currently putting on a one-woman cabaret show, which I'm hoping to tour around LA coming up next year. And I'm also hoping to continue to work with Donnie Mossing and Michael Skloff on a project. And yeah, I have so many projects coming up, and I'm auditioning for a whole bunch of competitions and opera programs and musical theater programs, and so it's going to be a very busy year for me coming up, and I cannot wait.
and lastly, for people that wants to keep up with what you got going on now and what you got coming up in the future, why don't you go ahead and promote your social media links and your website and any other links people need to keep an eye on?
Oh, okay, sure. Shameless plugs, of course. But I just put up my brand new website, and it's really easy. It is just my name, which is Sarah with an H, so Sarah, Lonsert, LONSERT.com, so www.sarahlonsert.com. And you can find my biography, my resume. You can contact me through there. I have videos up of my performances, and I have both of my previous albums on there as well, which you can buy if you wish. And then I have a YouTube account, which again is just youtube.com/Sarah Lonsert. And then I have the Twitter, which again is just twitter.com/Sarah Lonsert. Facebook is, again, the exact same thing. You're sensing a pattern, which is facebook.com/Sarah Lonsert. And I keep that regularly updated. I try to keep everything pretty updated with everything that I do. I just posted on my YouTube me with Johnny Mossing, and we're performing a Shabbat, and I posted some videos from that. So I try and keep it regularly updated with what I'm doing so that people can keep up with it, and people can see the growth, can continue to interact with me, can know what I'm doing, know where to see me sing. And so I like to keep in touch with the people as best as I can.
Well, Miss Lonsert, it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate it. Keep an eye on Sarah Lonsert in 2018. All the social media links that she mentioned, please go check those out. Keep an eye on the new album and everything else she's got going on. 2017 is any indication. 2018 is going to be even more amazing for you. So thank you again for your time. Continued success. And any final words before you head out?
I just want to say some final words to you. Thank you so much for reaching out to this amazing time. I've had a blast. I've loved talking with you, and as much as you've wished me good luck in this upcoming year, I wish to impart on you the exact same thing. I hope that 2018 is incredible, and I hope all of your listeners have an amazing 2018 and a very safe holiday, no matter where they are, no matter where they're listening to, because it is the holiday season. And have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, may you celebrate it with family and have just all the smiles, and may the new year be amazing for everybody.
Happy holidays, and then some to you as well. You have a good night. Have a great weekend.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend as well.
Bye, bye, bye. That was Sarah Lonsert out of California, and she was lovely. Enjoyed chatting with her, especially some Celine Dion. Get the woman her props. She's amazing. So on that note, that's how we are going to conclude that interview.